Well, yes, I am. So, if
But
you do not mind me asking, are you stated in your Reddit post that you're not a socialist. I just want to make sure you're not a socialist, because that's a whole entire different rabbit hole I want to talk about if you are one.
I am not a socialist. I am much closer to the Soc Dem or the Social Democrat, probably somewhere in between the two um, side of the aisle. I mean, it depends on which issue. I mean, I'm kind of right wing when it comes to guns, but I think a lot of lefties are starting to embrace guns now. So it's
Oh, me too. I'm not a big fan of gun control. Um, now I'm a libertarian conservative. Do you know what I'm talking about when it comes to that?
yeah. Well, I mean, libertarian's kind of on its own spectrum. There's libertarian has a spectrum that's its own
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Like I don't know. I know what you mean by libertarian. I just don't know how much on the spectrum you are on there.
So socially, I am a mixed bag. When it comes to abortion, I am pro-life, but when it comes to gay rights, such as the right to marriage for homosexuals, I hold a firm belief that they should be able to marry. That's where that libertarian comes in. When it comes to the government in general, I do not believe that they should really be able to influence your life. I think it should be left up to the states. Same with drugs in general. So stuff like that. I'm kind of like Ron Paul and Ben Shapiro, like a mix between the two, I guess you could say.
Okay. So what did you want to ask me?
Oh well, I wanted to ask you, do you think who were you always a social democrat, or did you shift from a socialist to a social democrat, or something along those lines?
Um, I probably came from the right and was pushed a little bit to the left, but to be honest, I've always been left leaning. I supported Obama.
Hmm.
Because mainly because of public option for healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and I didn't like what Obama ended up accomplishing, and I certainly don't like now that I've learned more about it his immigration policies.
Hmm.
Um, and I
Per-
supported Bernie Sanders in both the 2016 and 2020 primary elections. I did not vote for Hillary Clinton, but I voted for Joe Biden.
hmm. Yeah, personally, um, I will admit, you guys. I like some of your politicians on your side of the aisle. I'm a big fan of Joe Manchin and Duckworth. Um, Bernie Sanders. I don't like his policies, but I have a tendency of rooting for how do I say this? The underdog.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I disagree with his policies, I think I'm rooting for him in a certain sense.
Well, I
Like,
mean, there's no sense in rooting for him anymore. It's
yeah,
he's not running for president again. He's gonna be way too old. He was already too old, but you know,
yeah. Do you think there should be a age limit when it comes to how old a person should be able to, like, a max limit? So
no,
no.
no. I mean, as technology, healthcare improves, people will get older and older and be able to still cognitively be there. So, I mean, you can argue that you could adjust the age limit, but I just don't see a point. If somebody's too old, if somebody's really old and they get voted in anyways, then like, okay.
Hmm.
Now, one thing that I think that would help solve the problem of, like this election, we had the choice between electing two presidents. Each of them would have been the oldest president to ever be elected. Had didn't matter who got elected. Each of them would have been the oldest president. I think one thing that can help fix that is allowing setting up a system that would allow more parties to be viable options for the presidency.
I strongly agree with that. So since you're a social democrat, what is your opinion on the electoral college?
I'll abolish it. Um, I don't think I don't think that the needs of rural America are so much different from the needs of urban America, that urban America is just going to vote for people that's going to screw over rural America so wholeheartedly. I think that urban America needs rural America to thrive. I think the world needs rural America to thrive because that's where we get our food. So I don't see like that there's this big divide between I mean there is a divide in what people want, but like without the electoral college, we're not going to like screw over rural America. Urban America is not going to screw over rural America. Um and it would re-enfranchise so many people. Um yeah. But I think more importantly is what we should get rid of is first past the post voting. Even if we did keep the electoral college, if there was a way to divvy up those electoral votes by proportion of who gets the vote, it would do a better job than the electoral college at getting people to go into states that they normally wouldn't go into.
Hmm. I disagree with that slightly. So, in my opinion, I think we should keep the electoral college. I think if we were to abolish it, it would lead to something similar to a popularity contest. And I think I personally, I'll give you a good example. Do you know who ran in the 1992 election?
I was just being born then. I think it was Bush and Clinton.
Yes, it was Bush and Clinton. Now, Clinton was a lot more popular, but I liked Bush a lot more. Now, I am actually younger than you, a lot younger than you. Well, not a lot, a little bit. And I would have backed Bush if I was able to vote back then. Now, Clinton, I will admit, he was younger. I loved it how he played the saxophone on, I think it was Letterman.
None of that matters for a president, though.
Well, yeah, well, no, that's what I'm saying. If we abolish the electoral college, in my opinion, it would lead to a popular vote.
Yeah, it would definitely. I think it really just matters on which side of the aisle you fall. If you're more leaning, if you like Republicans more, then you're going to love the Electoral College because it benefits Republicans. If you tend to be left leaning and like Democrats more, which I don't like Democrats, but I like them more than Republicans, you're going to want to get rid of the Electoral College. I think that it's more democratic that way because a person in Ohio's vote doesn't count for 3 times more than somebody in California's vote does. But yeah. It's like we just fall on party lines on this. That's not surprising.
Yeah, it's not surprising, but I would.
And remember, this isn't a debate. I'm not trying to debate anybody.
This isn't a debate off.
I will debate. I will debate anybody, later on. But this is just like, if you're curious about left positions, you can ask me questions, and I'll give you the answer. And I'm happy to let you share your opinions on the matter too, as I have been.
So let's just agree to disagree on the electoral college.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, hit me up anytime. I'll debate you on it.
Yeah. Actually, I have a lot of friends who are a lot like you in a certain sense.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of socialist friends, a lot of Bernie Sanders buddies. So what's it called? What is your what other right-leaning views do you have as a social democrat? Is it only guns, or do you have others?
I'm not actually in favor of a wealth tax, and that's only because the practicality of a wealth tax just doesn't seem to do what it's supposed to do. If you look at other countries that have implemented it and got rid of it, it just doesn't seem to do what it's supposed to do. So I'm just not in favor of it because of practical reasons.
Yeah, I agree with that. Who do you look up to other than Bernie? Well, I'm assuming Bernie Sanders, but who?
Okay, I'm gonna marry Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So, I mean, I guess I look up to her. I love all these new squad members that are coming in. Cori Bush. I recently listened to her talking about her experience being poor. That was pretty cool. I like all of the squad very much.
That's good.